3, 2, 1, go.
Hi there everyone, welcome back up here to Weir Yard in the loft with me, Jenny Cook. I've also got the cupboard monkey. I'm just trying to get some things to run reliably, but oh gosh, YouTube loves changing the times. So as you probably guessed, the times that YouTube is quoting are completely wrong. But what is going on today? Well, actually there's a lot of model railway news. So this week has seen the release of Dapol's motorised and unmotorised versions of their parachute style water tanks, and these are quite interesting actually. They've kind of come in under the radar. I did do some looking up and they were announced I think a couple of years ago, and then people just stopped talking about it and Dapol kind of just like slipped them out really quietly.
Sorry, did you say Dapol have released some parachute pants?
Yeah,
is this 80s?
Can't touch this. Do. But right, let me just try and bring up. We've got 48 people, but only 7 likes. Now this needs to be rectified. Don't forget to tickle that like button. And oh, I've got a cupboard monkey. But as you can see as well,
I'm being the technical monkey.
The technical monkey. Okay. When you're done with that, bring up the comments so I can start reading what people on the internet who might have opinions.
Would you want to see the comments on your own show?
I think there's people on the internet that might possibly have an opinion.
Hi Zach, how you doing?
So a big hello to Zach. Gosh, you were early in. Leslie Gilpin, David Cook, Melchester Model Railway, Not Lobia Model World, Dundee Road, Patrick Lake,
Les is in.
Les is in indeed.
In the house.
Yeah, and of course you will be seeing over here somewhere the new back scene that Les has been creating for Weir Yard. It is an amazing back scene, it has to be said, and
Thanks,
really
Les.
pleased with it so much. So there's still about probably about half left to do, but what's in does look amazing. Les is an amazing artist, as I'm sure
Jenny was
all
saying
of you
that
well know.
Les puts her efforts to shame.
We've got Mark Wilson. Oh, and all me ducks. Growler Blackwood Engage layout. 57305 Northern Princess. Mike O'Brien. JJ Williams 1984. Judge Mortis. Mark Wilson. Warwick Road. Vobert Becking. Josh's Train Room. Ben Tullett.
While I'm on, do you need a drink or anything? Or
I will do. I'm starting to cough and splutter a bit. I think there's some dust in the air.
There is a bit. So I'll go and get you a very big drink, and then I'm off to do the comics.
Indeed.
Because
we got
as Jen might have told you guys before, we do comics as well as these shows and the videos. We do great comics, free to see, and I'm off to draw some.
Big hello to Iron White. It says Heidi hi, Hody ho. Tim's Trains. Hello, Tim's Trains. In fact, Tim's Trains, you may notice we've got the C class that I reviewed last week, which you very kindly sent to the channel. So that is doing the rounds, the Tim's Trains C class, with a rather unprototypical rake of British Rail breakdown crane coaches. So look out for that. And oh, that has been very naughty. There's one here that has managed to lose its stoofs. So just give me one moment to get that all hooked up again. Right, off you go. They do that, you know. They wait until you're doing something else and then they sort of slip couplings and then go around and go hoo 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 hoo, and then smack into the back of their own trains. NB Adagio, hello to you. Richard Swiderski, big hello. Stephen Oxborough, J94. Cottersmore, I'll have another Amigos if Zoe's offering. Gosh, let's have a look. Chris Hales, Heritage Railway. Hi Jenny, Zoe and all. Nathan Adlin, greetings from Denver, Colorado, USA. Gosh, we've got loads and loads of people in, a lot of familiar faces. Shanghai 264359, big hello to you. Mark Wilson, I like comics, especially Peter Kay. Garlic bread, it'll never catch on. Ian Hodgson, have you seen the Hornby NHS competition? I have, and for those of you who aren't aware of this, The competition is to design an NHS themed livery for which locomotive is it? The Class 43. I'm not sure which train that they've put up to do this on. And basically, the winner of this competition gets to have their design made into a proper model. It'll have a proper R catalogue number. And it'll probably be the rarest model that there is because they're going to make 2 of them. So the winner of the competition gets to keep one, and the other one will be, I believe, auctioned off for the NHS charity. So that's certainly one to get on in there if you haven't done already. I've seen some... Whoa. Either... there's a chance that I've suddenly gone very, very small, or the cupboard monkey. I didn't. Where did you find this Stein? I didn't realise we had a Stein. If I had realised we had a Stein, I'd have bought enough beer for you to have filled it. So
we've had it for years, Jen.
Ooh, it's a bit. Did you give it a rinse before?
Yeah.
Well, you rinse harder. Woo. As soon as I start drinking this, I envisage somebody shout, "Chug, chug, 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 chug."
Jug.
Oh, it's like being back at Oktoberfest. Das Boot!
We've had a Stein for years. It was given to us by our friend Jen. She thought it was funny.
Where did she get it from?
I don't know. Probably in a charity shop.
Red Letter Day, we found paracetamol in the shops today.
It's hard to find.
So,
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Wardle Road, big hello to you. Daryl Hearn ordered a Class 66 NHS Loco at the weekend. I believe they may have sold out. This is another special that Hornby has done. It's to commemorate, it's now a colonel. It was Captain somebody or other. He's now been made up to a colonel.
Captain Tom Moore, who's now
Tom
a colonel.
Moore. Peter C says it's for the Class 800 IET driving car. Thanks for that. I was, for some reason, I was thinking it was the Class 43. CSX Rensville, David at Cottesmore, you should be working on your layout. I hope you've taken a little moment off. Gout Valley, hi to you. Paul Hinder, hi to you. I think we've got Rachel in from Mini Wistaston Junction. Big hello to you. FMR Station House. Gosh, the comments are coming thick and fast. Adams Rowe says, I wondered if the Gronk was meant to be light loco. Hello, Derek Grant. Oh, I'm just trying to keep up to date with these comments. I can't. You comment so quickly, guys. Flight Mode Chairman 1, hello to you. Will Tucker, evening to you. David Cook, hello, Ollie. Regards, Dave. JJ Williams, 1984. Mini Wistaston Junction, Wardle Road, B&B, big hello to you. Ian White says, that's a big glass of vodka, Jenny. Yeah, I see. If I have vodka, I've not had vodka in decades, but I used to, when I was at university, I used to like drinking vodka with Rose's lime cordial. And the weird thing was, I can't say I massively liked it, but I drank it because it's in the lyrics to Hazy Shade of Winter by Simon and Garfunkel. And for some reason I latched onto that and thought it was the epitome of cool. JJ Williams, 1984 says, is that wine? I wish. Let's have a look. Somerset Andy, hello to you. Good evening, everyone from good old Somerset, and good evening to you. Mike O'Brien, hi. Deltic Junction James, big hello to you. We've got Paul Hinder, Barnabas Junction. Good evening to you. How are you doing? Mark Wilson, Captain, somebody come up. Yeah, I know. My memory is like a sieve for names. Ben Tullett, I had an unwelcome visitor of the feathered variety in my layout shed this week. I didn't like the weathering it did. Oh, did it leave you a personal sample? Oh dear, yes, they do like to leave their mark, don't they? Wardle Road, Jenny, where's that back scene at? Oh, somebody's changed the thingy. That'll be the cupboard monkey. So you can just make out the back scene there, and I know people go, oh, show us the back scene, but That is the subject of Friday's video, and we've got some corkers of videos. Corkers of videos for you this week. Tomorrow we do a review of the cameras that we use to get the driver's eye view videos of the layout, and it's a great way of seeing your layout through new eyes almost. You get to see it either as like a guard's eye view, a driver's eye view, or actually one of the cameras, do look out for it, allows you to actually film it as if you're in a railway carriage looking out, watching your little miniature world go by. And it is actually a really great way of just seeing your layout, and really brings it to life. So do look out for that on Friday. That's on Wednesday. Friday video is a full video on the progress with the vaccine so far. So you can just see my hand coming into shot down along that wall. It's not the best angle to show it off, but you just have to trust me that from where I'm sat, it's pretty special. Let's have a look. Will Tucker, haven't been able to post anything for the last couple of weeks for some unknown reason, so it's good to be back. Welcome back. Actually, does anybody know what's happened to I Like Transport? I haven't seen I Like Transport for quite some time. I do hope he's all right. So I Like Transport, if you're in the room, do leave a comment. But we have missed you. I've noticed now, I think a couple of weeks. Is anybody in touch? Know what I Like Transport's up to? Let's have a look. Yeah, CSX Rensville said New Junction's another one. No sooner as he's got a new layout started, he's off doing something else. Well, he does work for Hornby magazine, so he's very, very busy chappy. But I'm really looking forward to his garden O-gauge layout. I've seen his garden, albeit just in the videos, and it's huge. Really great scope for an O-gauge garden layout there. Ronald Moritz, hi to you. Sunshine the Tug, howdy, just arrived. Hi to you, it's great to have you along. Let's have a look. Cottesmore says it's the fame and sponsorship. It's about New Junction. It's New Junction in at the moment. He does occasionally pop in. Always great to see him. Logan Clary, hi to you. Leslie Gilpin, Ben Tullett, not fun. My problem is usually the small yellow striped stingy things building nests in the tunnels. Yes, I've been quite lucky actually, touch wood, that all the time that we've lived here, we've never had a problem with wasps' nests. But I'm very paranoid about wasps. Really don't like them, so I tend to, the first sign of wasps, I'm out there with the wasp spray. And we do keep a can of wasps' nest killer on hand, which is kind of like a foam stuff that soaks in and nukes them. So kind of never really let them take hold. But yes, wasps can be a real pain, especially if they've moved in unnoticed and got established without you knowing. Yeah, Logan Clary, May the 4th be with you. Yes, it's a World Space Daddy Issues Day, so yeah, it's great. Let's have a look. Wardle Road, Jenny, what time's your video out tomorrow so we don't clash? I have yet another garden update. It's basically up when the Cupboard Monkey finishes editing. It's not tomorrow. No, sorry, it's Wednesday. Nothing's going up tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. It better be Tuesday, otherwise we're having the Monday Club on a Tuesday here. But yeah, no, my Wednesday video will be going up hopefully first thing in the morning. Paul Hinder, Les has done a great job on the vaccine, Jenny, for you. Certainly has, yeah. And if you saw the thumbnail for the stream, it's actually a really good picture of that vaccine. Bolton Model Rail Society, good evening to you. Hope you and Zoe are well. Yes, we are. And we're still keeping an eye on the War of the Worlds layout. It's just a shame we weren't able to get that down to the new rooms that you got. This coronavirus blew in whilst we were waiting for what was happening with Alexandra Palace. And as a result of that, we've got the War of the Worlds layout taking up our conservatory, which, you know, with the weather being as it is, we'd rather like to sit in our conservatory. So yes, not heard from you in a while. How is it going? Peter C. IC82 has just uploaded another video time. Yeah, he's doing this. He's going head to head with me a lot. Naughty, naughty. 57305 Northern Princess. Where's the TARDIS today? Oh, it's over here. So, TARDIS. There we go. There's the TARDIS. I know everybody likes a bit of Doctor Who. Right, let's get a different angle up and running. Another example of a really great Les Cliff back scene there. It's one he did with chalks, modelled on Langdale. But anywho, I do need to get back to talking a bit about the Dapol water tower. Now, I'm being sent one to review. It should hopefully turn up tomorrow. And then we're going to cannonball a full-on review and video. Being asked to do this for Rails of Sheffield, so that they can have a video of the product actually working in a layout environment. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to get the footage out to Rails of Sheffield as quickly as we can. And then notionally that will go up as next week's Wednesday video, but we will obviously give Rails access to that as soon as it's done. So it may turn up on the Rails website before it turns up here on this channel. But certainly, I think it's got a lot of play value. I haven't had one physically in my hands yet, but it's kind of come out of left field. It was announced in, I think it was 2017, but then all's been kept really quite quiet until they just started shipping to the shops. So Peter Carson says, sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it. Nobody's ever late for the Monday Club. Alex Pomeroy, evening to you. Mark Wilson says, I think he's gone off transport. He's now, I like shrubberies. We want a shrubbery. I don't know, no, seriously, I like transport. No, silly phone. I like transport. Does anybody actually know how he is? I've just not heard from him in a long time. He was always a big supporter of the channel, and then just disappeared. So just want to, I'm just hoping to know he's well. Tim Davis, yeah, we're doing grand. J94, yes, it is Monday. Oh, it's good, which means I've got another day off. Mark Wilson, can we have a tour of the War of the Worlds layout? Yeah, at some point we will. At the moment, it's actually stacked like one on top of each other, the sections for storage. So it's not really conducive. Goddess Moore says, have you thought about setting OBS up to do automatic transitioning of cameras for you? I haven't actually, but it's like, I'll set the cupboard monkey on that. I'm not the most techno-literate of people. I used to be. I used to be the one who got to program my dad's VCR, because, I was a small child once, and small children, as everybody knows, are great with computers and VCRs. And for the young people, VCR, that's a video... What does VCR stand for? Video cassette recorder, that's it. Let's have a look. Yeah, as everybody knows, up until the age of 15, you're a genius with these things, and then it all goes to pot for some people like me. DL Warren says, saw you at Wally, but chickened out of saying hi. Oh no! You should always come and say hello. I don't bite. And it's always great to meet people who follow the channel. So yeah, definitely. When you see me again at exhibition, do come over and say hello. Always glad to talk to people from the channel. David Scott, your yellow works trend has a toad on the end. Normally they will run the other way around. Less drafty for the guard. Yeah, I guess the thing about the toad is that it doesn't have even through piping. So the rest of the coaches would all be vacuum braked. So logically the toad has to go on the end, otherwise the full train would be unbraked. Coddesmore says, OBS is very powerful and most don't even realise half of what it can do. Absolutely right. I'm still learning. And actually, even things like these cool transitions and stuff, this is all new for us. So we are slowly learning. Ian White says, anyone got the new Hornby Class 31? Any good? Well, it's the same 31 as before. I must admit, I've got my eye on the rail blue one, waiting to see if it hits the sales. But I do have, maybe just see it there in the background, the North Yorkshire Moors, North Yorkshire Moors Railway in regional railways livery. That's actually from about 5, maybe even 6 years ago, but it's ostensibly the same model. And they are a great model, actually. I do recommend the Hornby Class 31. Ania Oriti says, Jen here, quarantine is finished. I presume that's Italy, or possibly Spain. I know that they're starting to ease lockdown in a variety of places, and gosh, it seems like another world that we were actually pre-lockdown. But hopefully it'll be coming here by the end of the month, at least. Jonesy Tyner Weird Transport. Hi Jenny, do you watch Intercity 82? Used to, quite a lot. I don't get a lot of time to watch stuff these days, but you know, I am aware of his. I am a subscriber, and I am aware for his videos uploading. Adams Railway says, I Like Transport uploaded a video 13 hours ago, so he's still around. Yeah, J94, I Like Transport still uploading on his channel. Yeah, I miss him. He was quite he was quite a cheerleader for the channel. Great guy. So if you do drop into him, do ask him how he is, and make sure he's all right. And say he's always welcome back at the Monday Club. Combat Bunny says, been searching for Pico track. Yeah, it's really tricky at the moment. I believe Pico, if they've not already started production again, they are looking to restart production. It's just simply a case of building in that social distancing. But you know, the stocks of Pico track have been depleted across the board. Now, the other news, again, Dapol related news, and this is following the lead from Rails of Sheffield, not letting on anything that's not already in, that they've already happily released. And certainly I was speaking to Dapol, and they said essentially, Rails of Sheffield call the shots on the release schedule because ostensibly it's their commission. So the first 4 of the Rails of Sheffield stroke Dapol Terriers are finally hitting the shops. This has been the long-awaited new Terrier, and it did originally after the pre-production samples were shown at Alexandra Palace last year. There was they decided that they would do some more tweaks, and then it's got obviously stuck a little bit with the coronavirus lockdown. The first 4 liveries are now coming through. We've got BR Black, both early and late crest, and running from memory, there's a Kent and East Sussex Railway Blue. Is it Rolvenden? There's only 2. There's either Bodiam or Rolvenden. But I believe it's the other one to the one that Hornby did. So quite a good move there. And then finally there's the ex-Gypsy Hill locomotive. It doesn't have the name Gypsy Hill on the tanks, just has the LB and SCR on the tanks. That's the 4th model that is coming this week. I spoke to Rails at the end of last week, and what they said is that they should be at Dapol the beginning of this week, i.e. today. They'll go through some quality control checks, and then they'll be dispatched out to Rails, and then they will start fulfilling the pre-orders that have been made for the Terrier for those liveries. The rest of the livery options are expected by the end of May, so don't worry if you ordered anything like Box Hill, Brighton, or the South Eastern and Chatham Railway livery versions. They are all coming on the Southern Railway livery as well. They're all coming towards the end of the month is the plan at the moment. Flymo Chairman 1 says, I Like Transport is maybe taking time out. I hope so. Yeah, he was always great fun in the channel, really active member of the community. So just do hope that he's all right. Yeah, Wardle Road, that double slip. Double slips are always a great idea. I must admit, I've got one on my Grove Street yard layout. It really does add a lot of operational interest. And there are 3, yes, there's 3 double slips up here as well. So, you know, double slips are a great space saver. Paul Hinder, JJ Williams 1984, Lima is good, most of my stock is Lima. Yeah, Inaya Oriti, yeah, video cassette recorder, definitely. Ben Davis, just said about this. Hi Jennifer, do you know Rail of Sheffield Terrier come out this week? Do you order on and want one? I do really want one. My personal choice would be Oh, I did a Box Hill. Box Hill or Stepney are the two, but they've not announced Stepney. But certainly Box Hill is the one which my personal preference would be for. But I'm coming around to actually really liking the BR Black ones. So I do have the money set aside for them. I haven't actually pre-ordered them. Simply because, more than anything else, it has to be said, I have pre-ordered so much stuff. I was mortified of everything landing at the same time, because otherwise I'd be out for about 1,500 quid on my debit card, which is an unexpected hit that you don't want to get. So I do need to make a decision. Do I get Box Hill? And still my preference, I need to wait for the end of the month, or do I switch to getting one of the BR Black ones? Probably the BR Black Early Crest. But yeah, I do really want one. I do have one of the new Hornby ones in the Southeastern and Chatham Railway livery, so I won't be getting that simply because it's the same identity of Loco. Now, the Southeastern and Chatham Railway, as far as I'm aware, only ever had one Terrier. So unfortunately, there's no option for an alternative running number on that one. Leslie Gilpin says, I like transport, responded to one of my comments, so he's still alive. That's great to know. But, you know, missed at the moment on the channel. Let's have a look. Ben Davis says, hi, thanks for this live stream, Jennifer. You're absolutely welcome, and thank you all for coming and dropping in. It's always great to have your company. The Scrap Line, hello to you. How are you doing? Gonk Droid 229, hi Jenny, just ordered a lockdown treat for myself, a Helgen High-Mech. Do you have one? If so, is it any good? I don't have the High-Mech, the AKA the Class 35. I must admit, I've been looking at Rails of Sheffield have two of the Helgen Class 35s, at least in their sale. Early chromatic blue and then later rail blue with the wraparound yellow ends. And I do get tempted, but it's not one that's ever particularly passed onto my radar. It's usually a case of it's low down the priority list, not for any other reason than it's just a locomotive that I never had a personal interest in. And there's always something else which I get instead. I have just bought for myself a Helgen Class 33, which it hasn't actually been processed yet. I ordered it on Sunday from a well-known online retailer. So I am slowly building up my collection. My experience of Helgen models is they are generally pretty good models. I have not really heard any bad things about the Helgen Class 35, so it's well worth it. If you want a Class 35, then that is definitely a good option. Dundee Road says, currently multitasking, practicing some live. Excellent. Railsponge_O. Hey Jenny, how are you today? I am grand, thank you. Condesmore, mine are always out at 10 AM Tuesdays. I don't mind about conflict. People will watch them eventually. Yeah, pre-recorded videos, it's not really so much of a problem. Live streams, I guess a lot of people like to watch live because you can comment live, which you can't do on the rerun. So live streams head-to-head, I think, are really a bad idea. But certainly, you know, putting videos out, there's no real issue with pre-recorded videos going out at the same time as other channels. Because like you say, people who want to watch them will watch them. J94, VCRs are a little way out of my time. However, I have somehow managed to have kept most of my VHS tapes and a recorder. Definitely, yeah, we've still got a VCR downstairs. New Junction. Oh, your ears must have been burning. I was mentioning about your O-Gauge garden line, how your garden is amazing for potential for outdoors layout. Real_Sponge_O says, Alabama quarantine just stopped. Ian White was worried about the plastic rot problem they had a while back. Not familiar with that. Plastic rot. Not come across that, I must be honest. I've come across issues not with the Class 35 but with other locomotives. At a particular point in time there was issues with quality control. I know Helgen 47s got affected, Hornby Class 31s and some of the early 50s as well got affected. early Bachmann N classes as well. It was across the board, but not heard about the plastic rot. NBA Adagio, things to do. Bye, Jenny. Take care and hopefully catch up with you soon. The Scrapline says back to some sort of normal next week. I think it's going to take a long, long time, even the places where the lockdown's been lifted, for a degree of normality to return. Quite simply, I think it's just that's the way it is. You can't go through something as extreme as this without there being effects for a long time after on the nation's psyche as much as anything. You know, habits have been changed. People are wary about things that they weren't before. Cottesmore asks, we're trying to figure out what you sold to afford your garden. Was it a kidney? Oh, that's what that thing in the bucket was that I got through the post from I jest, but yeah, definitely O-gauge in the garden is the way to go. Josh's train room asks, has anyone got the Hornby Mark III SD coaches, as I've got one in cross country but still waiting for the ScotRail ones, which I say they are amazing looking. The new Hornby Mark IIIs do look good. I don't have any, but I have actually had a close look in the shops. Now, Mark IIIs are a little bit later than the period which I generally model. I do have an Oxford Rail Mark III, and I was quite pleased with that, although the step boards are a little bit loose, but they can be fixed with the wee dab of super glue, nothing too untoward. But the new Hornby ones actually do look really good. I sometimes get tempted by the Intercity Swallow liveried ones, but they're kind of, I know they came out in the 70s, but I've never really quite had the appeal to me. Zach Farmer says, loving the streams, nice to see family faces on YouTube. Well, thank you very much, Zach, and it's great to have you in the stream, and I hope you're doing okay. I mean, it's been a while. Zach is one of my nephews, for those who are wondering. Yes, I have shrunk. This is an ordinary small little dinky pint glass. Yes, the beverage of choice is cheapy juice. It's summer fruits cordial with council pop. Let's have a look. Cottesmore says, if you knew where Old Junction was, you'd think he's horsing about. Ron Stanbridge, hi to you. AD Pullen says, only Dapol locos I've got on pre-order are SECR D-Class and GWR Manor Class. I must admit, the D-Class I'm very much looking forward to. I'd be interested to see the Manor as well. But the London and South Western Railway B4 dock tanks, I got one from the first batch. It's a pig to DCC fit, but it's a lovely model. What other Dapol? I've got the BT Well tank that they did for Kerno models. I've got a lot of O-gauge Dapol. Let's have a look. Cottesmore says, I've just ordered another Acura Scale Class 97. That will be 2. Save me. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Acura Scale 37s. For me, it's the Intercity Swallow livery and the regional railways. And small logo BR Blue with the tops numbers. So just the 3 that I need. Haven Rail got 35 points to control Digitrax. What's my best route? 35 points, right. You can go full DCC, in which case you can go using, there's quite a few different brands. DCC Concepts do point control system. Actually some quite nice ones. The DCC Concepts allow you to retain the analog style switches, which I know a lot of people do prefer, and it translates their signal to a DCC control and sends it out through the track to point decoders. What else have we got? I'm sure Pico do a system as well. There's a whole host of different things. Hornby do a points and accessories decoder module. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. And I guess actually in this day and age, my personal preference, and I hasten to add, I've not gone that route. I'm still completely analog. So when I flick my points, it's wires physically going from the switch to the point via a capacitor discharge unit. So very much old school, but if I was doing it again, having seen the DCC concept system, I guess that's the route that I would personally take, and it's a really nice system. And I think at the moment, I could be wrong, do check with DCC concepts first. They might have a deal on, like a lockdown period deal. I know a few retailers have. WWC Nicks as well have got a 15% off code that you can use as well. Brayworth Park 00 model railway. Josh's training, yes, not my area unfortunately, so just getting the cross country. I think it's the Mark 3s. Ian Ryan still got an old Sony Betamax camcorder in a cupboard somewhere. It's probably worth a fortune now. Certainly as a retro movie prop, definitely. Richard Lewis, Boxhill would look nice with Hatton's Genesis coaches. Yeah, I must admit, there are so many locomotives just waiting for those Genesis 4 and 6 wheeler coaches to come out. So I really am looking forward to those. And actually, I managed to, I chickened out in the end from putting the order in, but I listed all of the Project Genesis coaches that I really wanted. And the cost of the pre-order was about just shy of £2,000. So obviously I chickened out on that one. Russell Benton says, despite lockdown, these Mondays get around. They do. Human City Junction, how do you deal with working on a model for 2 months and then having it fall off the table? It is going to take some work to get it put back together. Oh, I really feel for you. I must admit, I've dropped locos in the past. In fact, there is a video on my channel that we've had an accident, and what happened was the storage unit that I had 5 pull-out drawers with lots of actual locomotives in, it split. The plastic split. Don't ask me how. And I was carrying it over a hard tiled floor, not even a carpet, and the whole lot just went bang all over the floor. And locomotives that were most severely damaged, I spent ages with super glue, very carefully putting back together my Helgen Class 5 shunter. And it is heartbreaking, really is, when something like that happens, so I really feel for you. Demo G, I like transport is on train siding app, liking comments and posting. Excellent, glad to hear he's alright actually, because he was always a very, very active person in the Monday Club, and we do miss him. If you speak to him, tell I Like Transport that we miss him. Viaduct Central Model Railway, hi to you. So Old Double Art, hello Jay and everyone, hope you're all keeping well. We are, thank you very much. Let's have a look. You need a Class 40, says Mark Wilson. I know, but at the moment, there are no Class 40s available brand new. In fact, the one I want, Tops Blue, is the one that I would really like. Not really bothered about exact number, but it needs to be in BR Rail Blue with the Tops number. So I'm just going to bide my time. If it had been a case of going somewhere like Ali Pali, a Class 40 was at the top of my hit list for hunting the stalls for, but obviously that hasn't happened, so we'll wait and see if the new revised Alexandra Palace will happen. Melchester Model Railway, Jenny, what do you think of the Kerno Bulliard 1 Coco 1? Again, another interesting product. Kerno have kind of taken on the mantle of the more obscure, wacky and wonderful releases from, I'm just cleaning the track here, from the world of Britain's railways, and actually it's an interesting model. A little bit niche, but I think it will do very, very well. And actually, I must admit, I'm finding myself looking at the Kerno Model Centre website more and more, and there's a few of their special commissions that actually I wouldn't mind. They've got them at some really good prices, so do go and check them out. I'm actually really starting to like more and more the Class 41 warships that they've done as well. It's got that classic North British shape, and actually really quite tempted. Coddismore says, I've got 33030 on order from Rails and EWS livery. You should message John for me, Jenny. Get it sooner. I don't know whether John would get it sooner. Certainly, it's a case of... never say never. It's worth speaking to John and seeing if he can put you at the top of the pool for sending out and give it priority. Especially if it's something that you're going to review on your channel, it might be worth floating that as an idea and say, look, you know, I'm buying it anyway, got it on order. But if you can see yourself clear to make sure it's the first one to get posted out the door, then there will be a video going up. And always offer to send them the link to the video. And that always goes down well. I mean, the worst that can happen is they go, no, they'll go out in order or whatever. And, you know, what have you lost? Nothing. I haven't actually spoken to John Barber in a long while. We like ships that pass in the night. I like some of the posts he puts up on Facebook, and he likes some of the posts that I put up on Facebook. But I haven't actually talked to him for a while. I tend to talk to Oliver at Rails. Oh, Ian White, what about Laserdiscs? I always liked Laserdiscs. They had a great feel. I'm a big fan of vinyl LPs, so Laserdiscs played into that because they looked and felt a lot like, especially in the sleeves, like you had a lovely, great, big, expensive vinyl album. Brayworth Park OO Model Railway, Game Hour Classic Gamer, yes, it was Philips video disc, never took off. Oh yes, they also ran formats. I was quite surprised how many of those there were. I'd always, growing up, thought it was just Betamax versus VHS, and I do remember the Betamax versus VHS. But, you know, there was also Video 2000, and then also stuff like the RCA video disc, Philips video disc formats. There was actually quite a lot of other formats. Oh yeah, VHD, the weird disc format that was popular in Japan. 57305, Northern Princess. I started to collect all the Doctor Who on VHS and completed the Sylvester McCoy era first. Luckily, we started with DVD, so we've got a full set of Doctor Who on DVD, all the classic Who. Tim Davis, who remembers VHS? Yeah, I am old enough for VHS. Definitely for basically all of my childhood, and even into the point that I was at university, VHS was king. I say all of my childhood, actually, the beginning part of my childhood, VHS was probably a thing, but not a big thing. I remember 1984 or 1983, my parents buying their very first video cassette recorder. And I remember that my dad bought VHS, and he made the right choice. We could have very easily had Betamax. Oh, right. I'm probably well behind on the comments here. Let's have a look. Robert Nisbet says, hi Jenny, I like your ears. Must get a pair for driving my van. Can we have the Q1 on, please? Q1. Okay, what we're going to do is I will find the Q1. Try not to show too much belly, because I know you did ask last week. Everybody always asks for the Q1. So what I'm going to do, I'll just put that there a moment. When the class 20 comes round, I think it's the class 20 that will swap for the Q1. So, let's have a look. Coddismore says, Helgen don't normally release early dates or samples, Ollie. Primarily it's only magazines that get early access from Helgen. Yeah, and even then, not all magazines. Certainly, I don't think retailers get early access to actually send out a product. They may get a look at it, certainly at trade shows, open events for retail. They might get to see pre-production samples and the like. But as a rule, unless it's a special commission that they themselves have commissioned, then it's unlikely, to be honest, that they're going to have actually have the means to send out any early. I think, as I said before, the best you could hope for is persuading them to put your pre-order to the top of the send-out pile. Right, try not to demolish the Class 8. There we go. So Loco 3306. There we have the Q1. So let's get that up and running. So we've got the Q1 on because you did ask last week. So look, New Mills Model Railway, is the jug to scale? No, I believe that the jug is 00, whereas I appear to be N gauge today. Skipsy trains, I've got 4 of the new GWR sliding door Mark III's this week, and they are lovely with an updated chassis, mounted coupling, and all new interior. Tim JD Dowd, hi to you. I hope you're well as well. Let's have a look. I'm well behind on the comments here, I must admit. I don't know how far behind. 1930. Oh my word, I'm about 10 minutes behind. Deltic Junction James, that's going round. Right. Cheshire Lines, hi to you. I can recommend the Mega Point system for point control, very expandable. I have 53 on it at the moment.
Do you need anything?
I'm good, thank you.
Slice of pie?
I'm still full.
Okay.
The Cupboard Monkey made an amazing pie, and actually an amazing apple crumble. We have eaten all of the apple crumble.
Oh, no.
But we've got a lovely vegetable pie. But,
Which I absolutely didn't make a Star Trek com badge on the top of.
Yes, you did.
You've always got to cut a couple of holes in to let the steam out in a pie, otherwise it doesn't work properly.
Yeah, otherwise it goes bang.
So I put in a Star Trek Delta.
Yeah. Mark Wilson, Jenny, with the Class 40, would you prefer the split head code, the centre head code, or the nose door versions? The later being my favourite. You know, I must admit, I never thought about it. As far as I'm concerned with the Class 40, I guess just rail blue with the tops number would be my preference. Beyond that, I'm easy. Any of those 3.
That's what the guidebooks say.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
And I'm off.
You are. I wonder what that smell was. Leslie Gilpin. Oh, so you're talking amongst yourselves. That's no problem. Mark Samway says, Gamehammer Classic Gaming VHS movie for Jenny might be FM, American Radio Story. Let's have a look. There's a lot of people talking about video. Oh, Video 2000. Yeah, Aiden's Railways. Jenny, I have a Video 2000 in the loft. The double-sided video, the unit is huge and weighs a ton. Yeah, I have to say, I was only recently made aware of Video 2000. University described as the system that managed to come 3rd in a 2-horse race. Oh no. That's the Q1, I'll have you know. Oh. So there we go. Now behave yourself, you hear? Yeah, Techmoan. We do subscribe to Techmoan. It's a great channel. And I'm just going to turn this fan on because it is very warm at the moment. At least I'm slightly ill, so struggling a bit. Yeah, Mark Wilson. Our first VHS recorder in '83 was about 800 quid. Mad. Very much so. I think my father probably paid a good couple of hundred quid, which in 1983-84, a couple hundred quid was a lot of money. So we've got 183 people in, so don't forget to tickle that like button. And if you haven't already done so, do subscribe to the channel. Philip Page, hi Jenny, and all from Wingate. Aha, local. Tony Wright says, Q1s are the coolest Southern Railway loco. They do have an aesthetic quality to them, I must admit. Wardle Road says, my first VHS were the original Thomas the Tank and Paddington Bear. Gosh, I remember watching the Thomas the Tank Engine series, once with the, I think they were actually Gauge 1 or Gauge 2 models. Really nicely done. Loch Vath train video, hello all, hi to you. A lot of people talking about VHS. I think we've opened a retro can of worms here. Mark Wilson says, when the back seal is complete, will you release Les? Now get down, Les. Get down, Les. Yeah, it's down in the modelling dungeon underneath the baseboards. No, Les is good where he is. I think he's getting a little bit bored under lockdown, so he's very creative at the moment. But also he's got to clear his shop because he's sold his shop. So I think he said he had 13 weeks with which to clear the place. And part of that is he's got to clear his workshop, he's got to clear the model railway room, so he's got an awful lot of salvaged stuff that he's sifting through. Paul Hinder, Ron Stanbridge, I've not been in chat for about a month due to busy with other things. So look. Richard Swiderski, I used to repair TV and videos in the days when you could repair things, not throw them away like now. And I remember looking inside a VHS recorder to have a go at repairing it for my parents. It was actually their first one. It lasted a long, long time. It made it through from about 83 to, it felt like a long time, but I'm thinking back now, it made it from about 83 to 93, so 10 years. I don't know if that's a good innings. Very complicated inside, lots of electronics, bits, motors, belts, wheels. Andrew Davis, sorry sending before completing the message. My secondary school had black and white reel-to-reel video till after I left in 79. Gosh. Game Hammer. Oh, I am up to date on the comments. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. Jenny, all this talk about VHS is making me think we need to relaunch Film Hammer Classic Cinema. Want to be on the show? Oh, no, grand. Yeah, I'll turn up for the opening of an envelope. Yeah, I'm there. Oh. I can't decide whether the actual contents are heavy or whether the glass just weighs a ton. Oh, I'm in Cupboard Monkey bringing me novelty glasses. Scott Malcolm says, I remember my mum paying 800 Deutschmark for our first CD player in 1984. Gosh, yeah. I mean, Deutschmark, remember them? There's FMR Station House, no, Newport, Isle of Wight, or Newport, Wales. There was actually quite a few Newports around the country. I think there's a Newport up in the northeast, and Newport. There's quite, because it's literally a new port, so a few of them around. Tim JD Dowd, 2 class 20s with 6 HST coaches going for scrap. Oh gosh. So the Mark III coaches, some of them are going for scrap already. I say already, they're from the 70s. Charleston Eastgate, evening all. Hope everybody's well. Thank you very much. Mark Wilson, with that glass, you look like a borrower. Yes, it is a bit weird. Oh, yeah, it's that Q1. It doesn't. It's trying to short the system on that scissor crossing. But anyway, yeah. Now that I'm up to date with the comments, basically, the Dapol motorised water tower. It looks to be actually quite a fun item. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that. Rails have notified me that the review sample was sent out yesterday on 24-hour delivery, so hopefully I'll get that tomorrow, film the review. But it looks to be bringing the fun, the play value back to model railways, because effectively what you've got is you've got the sound effects, you've got the moving thing, which is great for stimulating the children's imagination. But it's all wrapped up in the package of a nice, realistically modelled water tower. So just, you know, if you don't want the sounds, don't turn it on. There is non-motorised, it's classed as non-motorised, but it doesn't have the sounds either as far as I'm aware. So you can just get the water tower, but as an added feature, I think it brings the play value back. And imagine for one moment, if you've got nieces, nephews, grandchildren, even children of your own, then it's something that you can have on your all singing, all dancing, super duper detail layout that also will entertain the children. And I think that is a great move by Dapol. I guess in a way Hornby started this with a TTS vent van, which a lot of people a bit like mixed with. That train is really not happy on that line. I'm going to turn that round actually, so I'll get it to run the other way round, so effectively reverse its way round, and wonder whether that might solve some of the issues. So let's just see there now. Of course, I just realised that the camera angle that we're on, you can't see what I'm doing. So there we are. I've basically turned it round. So let's just see. We'll move round to this angle, and you'll see the Q1 coming round in a moment. You just about make it out through the trees there. So hopefully that might be a little bit more reliable going round. Let's get a little bit more on the way of beans, because we all know what beans means. Let's have a look. Ian Ryan, hello, right, so yes, Scott Malcolm, I think the water crane would be fun even for adults. I think you're absolutely right. And Skipsy Trains, yes, let us not forget, the Helgen container crane has tremendous play value. Definitely. Nick Neumann says, hi Jenny, Shipley Freight Yard is online and ready for business. Freight, what, as in, you send freight from Shipley. Ian Ryan, her face must have a million battle scars. Oh, what are we talking? Oh, I think I've missed a few comments here. Manthony 1956, hello Jenny and Zoe from Kentucky, where it is finally not raining. If you lived here, you would understand why they write songs about rain. I've been to Wales, mate. Wales is the country where it rains for 40 days and 40 nights every month. Yes, the Rod Gilbert joke is I was 6 years old before I realised you could take the cagoule off. Ian Ryan, talking of vinyl, I got Billy on a live double LP album. Oh, Billy Connolly, I presume, and Leyland. You could get good picture quality from VHS, but we're prone to chewing up the tape from time to time. Yeah, you needed to keep the tape heads clean as well. So that there was a lot you could do to get the best out of it, but certainly I was really not happy that Q1. Maybe a little bit more beans, see how it does. But yeah, when I've looked back at VHS tapes, I know you could towards the end get HD video on VHS, but really wasn't quite suited for it. Right. Yeah, J94 says, yeah, the Mark IIIs are going to be scrapped. Gosh, in my head, I still view the Mark IIIs as being quite new. It must be a sign of my age. To Sims on Newport Docks. David Curry says there's a Newport near Hull. Yes. Yes. Judge Mortis asks, any recommendations for semaphore signals? If you want to build up your own, and you can build some actually quite complicated ones, so you can just about see on that image there's a double starter signal there, but I'm trying to see which angles. Let's try this angle and see, can we see? No, I don't think any of the signals are really quite showing up on. Let's see. No, there's not really showing. Where is this? I'm looking on that image and then looking back over there. I can't see the semaphore signal. Have we got any semaphores here? Again, no. Ratio kits, if you're prepared to build them, you can get some quite unique signals. So from where I'm sitting, I can see quite a few. I've got like junction signals with there's one over there with 5 arms on a junction signal post. I've got a gantry over there. So the ratio kits give you immense flexibility, but they can be quite fiddly to build. So swings and roundabouts. The Dapol signal kits, you have to be quite careful in terms of getting the right voltage to them. And a lot of people say under voltage them because they can be a little bit finicky. But certainly if you don't want to build your own signals, for working semaphore signals, Dapol would be the route to go, but it does cost a lot of money. Ham Shackleton, big hello to you. Will Tucker, Newport Bridge at Middlesbrough, next down the Tees from the Transporter Bridge. Yeah, there's a lot of Newports around. I'm gone behind now, really behind on see Tim JD Dowd. That's the Tim's Trains C class in the fully ornate SECR livery on the front of the breakdown coach train. And that's not the original release of 592. I believe it's, I think it's 583. It's the re-release that Bachmann, 583. It's the re-release that Bachmann recently brought out. So that came courtesy of Tim's Trains. Leslie Gilpin says, in the USA, BLI have done a sound-fitted water tank for some years. It's not a new thing, but I think it's a new thing to the UK market, and I'm really interested to see it in the flesh. Hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow. Richard Swiduski says, re-water tower waiting for Hattons to get them in stock, the motorised one. Certainly I'll share some pictures online when it comes, but actually really looking forward to it. Robert Nisbet says, that's just the cat's whiskers. Thanks, Jenny. I think that's the Q1. Definitely, you're absolutely welcome. Peter Watson, any idea when the Dapol N-Gauge Bullion Pacifics are going to appear? I have to say, I have no idea. I must actually ask Neil at Dapol about N-Gauge releases, but at the moment the information I get tends to be more for the 00 and for the O-Gauge, primarily because they're the scales I'm interested in. AD Pullen, Virgin Internet playing up again. Yeah, it's Virgin's definitely got some issues. Andrew Davis, remember the old school telly raised on a 6-foot stand in a box with shutters? Yeah, with that metal armour plated box underneath for the VCR so people couldn't nick it. J94, that C-Class looks nice. Mine is BR Black, numbered 31227. I can only remember the last 3 digits in the number of my C-Class Wainwright. I've got 4, but none of them in BR or Southern. All of mine, I've got 4 C-Class, and all 4 are the Southeastern and Chatham Railway liveries. I've got every single Southeastern and Chatham Railway, God, that is heavy. Southeastern and Chatham Railway liveried C-Classes that have been released. Oh, that is one heck of a stein. It's Oktoberfest all over again. And we all know what Oktoberfest means. Yes, that's right. Getting drunk, shouting, Das Boot! And eating lots and lots of Schnitzengruben. Don Cragen. Lionel had operating boxcars, milk cars, log dump cars and coal cars in the 1950s. They added missile-firing cars and exploding boxcars and ammo dumps, targets for missiles in the 1960s. Yeah, Hornby went that route as well. Things like the battle space, the exploding boxcar, the giraffe car. There's a lot of stuff. It's almost like what I've said about the Dapol model, and actually the Hornby TTS vent van to some extent as well. It's bringing the play value back to the hobby, which I think is very important for getting the new generation in. AD Pullen says, bye guys, off to watch Are You Being Served? Sorry, not much off me. Please all take care. Look, you take care too. And hopefully see you again next week. Dave Scott came from Newport, Mom, South and West Line at the bottom of the street. Brian Harper, a few Hornby 00 semaphore electric signals. Oh yeah, the forgotten signals. Reasonably plentiful, but don't mess up a mint example, please, please, please. Go for the slightly forlorn ones that need restoration and repainting. Because I never like the idea of pulling apart or destroying a mint vintage item, but certainly I guess up until Dapol brought out their signals, their working signals, the only people who previously really successfully done that ready to run was Hornby 00. Now are actually really nice signals. Z Mark Anthony, a big hello to you. I hope things are doing well. Things are better here. I've even got a 10-car lot of Bachmann wagons for only $20. That's actually pretty good. Bolton Model Railway Society just had a power cut, had to reboot everything. We're all doing Zoom virtual club meeting at the moment, which are helping whilst in lockdown. There are a few of us doing small lockdown projects. Yeah, and that's it. All of the model rail clubs up and down the UK are in the same position. And it's something I've said actually on 2 interviews that I've done so far. One for Ken Patterson and one for Jason Griffiths for the MRCYG podcast, or the MRYCG podcast. Is that in a way we're lucky that this pandemic has turned up at a time when we have the technology to be able to do all of this. Could you imagine this in the late 1990s with your VHS video, 5 channels on the TV if you were lucky? I can't remember when Channel 5 launched. And you know, mobile phone technology in its infancy, and if you were online was rubbish, and it was all viewed through 33.6 baud modems. In fact, I think some people were on 16.8 back then. I think 56k modems did exist, but were very expensive.
I'm sorry, but are you suggesting that everyone in the mid-90s was on the 33.3? I had a 56.6 since 98.
Yes, and 98 is not the mid-1990s.
It's practically the mid of the mid-90s.
Yeah, yeah, Chris Hales, Heritage Row says there's more bridge ends than any other place named.
Channel 5 arrived in, what, 96?
I remember everybody watched the countdown, and ironically, the largest audience share that Channel 5 ever got was the countdown to Channel 5 going on air.
Yeah, do you remember it, though? The thing, the test, every 5 or 6 minutes, they would show this trailer that made Channel 5 look amazing.
Yeah, I remember it was Kirsty, what's her name, the newsreader,
yeah,
and Tim Vine did the actual launch program, and then they went off into the Jack Doherty show,
which I used to watch religiously every night because it was actually quite good.
It was actually, yeah. But it took them a while to find their feet, and then when they did find their feet, what they actually discovered was that they were the rubbish end of the broadcasting spectrum.
The weird thing was the 9 o'clock film every night at 9 o'clock, it might not be the best film ever, but it's a film you've not seen.
I remember at the time the big joke was that the controller at Channel 5 had been down to Blockbuster and had a rummage in the 99p bin for that night's film.
But it worked. It was a good draw.
Yeah, James Gilbert just took delivery of a Helgen Bayer Garrett in BR Black. It's big and certainly pulls a lot of trucks. I must admit, that is another one high on my wish list. But at £200, it's a lot of moolah to throw at one locomotive, and I invariably find myself buying 2 or even 3 other locomotives out of sales. And it's a shame, really. I do really want a Helgen Bayer Garrett, so do watch this space. And don't forget that you can support the channel through Patreon, and that does help us to buy all these things to be able to do these videos. And we've got a lot coming up, actually. A lot of how-to guides is what we're trying to go more towards. 186 people in. Don't forget to tickle that like button. Anne Leyland says, Jenny, have you ever built a kit loco? The only kit locos I've ever built are the Dapol stroke Airfix plastic kit locos, and that's about as far as I get. I don't tend to build rolling stock kits either, it must be said. I have done a few over the years of rolling stock, but locomotives, I guess the closest you could find on any of my layouts is the Dapol plastic X Airfix pug kit, and that is literally it. Fox Hill Railway, evening all. Sorry, why has Jenny got ears? Oh, so I can hear better, of course. No, we've said this story before. It's an Alice band. So the whole point of this is it holds your hair back. But unfortunately, lockdown beckons and all my Alice bands are broken. Except this one. Well, actually, no, I tell a lie. Except this one and the very ornate fastener stroke Alice band that I wore for my wedding, and that is even more in your face than this. So it's just really to keep my hair out of my ears. You can't get a good Alice band anymore these days, it has to be said. Paul Hinder says, Jenny, are you going to do a peak running night? Well, there is a class 46 running on the layout, 46053 in rail blue. Really a lovely model, actually. I'm really going more and more towards these peaks. I do want to get a dedicated class 45 sound chip, it has to be said, although I will settle for a class 44 or a class 46 sound chip. But The Class 45 does sound amazing. So I really started to get into that. And it's one of these things, actually, when it comes to sound chips, I can take or leave Steam Loco sound chips. I find them a little bit boring. But some of the diesel sound chips, they actually do work quite well. Right. Oh. Gary Lewis, hi Jenny, just chill out, running trains and listening into live chat after a weekend clearing garden of weeds. I've ordered a Dapol GWR stone-coloured motorised water crane from Rails. I think that's actually the one that I've got coming as well, so do stay tuned to the channel. I'm producing a review video showing it in situ on a layout I've been asked to do and showing the full range of operation. So that will no doubt go live first via Rails of Sheffield's website and social media channels. But we are looking to put that up this channel next Wednesday is the plan. But you will be able to see that video early, most likely through Rails of Sheffield. So do stay tuned for that. And like I said, it looks to be a really interesting product. And so I'm really quite intrigued to see it in the flesh. Tony Wright, Athern are releasing cabooses with sounds and lights and are consistent with the Locomotive. That is actually a really good idea. A really good idea. Fly Mode Chairman 1, I think I've got a Triang Rocket and Low Loader sets. Interesting. So is that the new rocket sets coming through? I know we're still waiting on the main range release of the rocket set. Again, another one I've got on pre-order. J94, is the 08 on ballast duties? It is rather, yes. It's got a sea lion hopper and a shark, so it's trundling around. Just really, I find things work a lot more reliably on the innermost track. If I, oops, sorry, excuse me. If I run quite short trains. Oh, interesting. Russell Benton says some of the Triang models were based on Lionel. That does make sense actually, because they were much more American outline. Gas Street Siding says, hi Jennifer, I went ahead yesterday and bought a Sherwood Colliery Company Limited Peckett B2 Class 060 Standard Tank number 4 Sherwood, DCC fitted, £109, and the one without the chip is £89.50 at Rails of Sheffield. Yeah, there's some really good prices actually on those B2 packets. And again, it's another one on my hit list. I've got the NCB blue one, but some of the other models really do take my fancy. But you can end up spending a lot of money, and at the moment the Class 33 was a big omission in my collection, so I've placed an order yesterday for a Helgen Class 33, and that will plug another gap in my diesel locomotive roster. So unfortunately, getting another B2, albeit in a different livery, has had to be shunted off down the wish list queue in favour of getting that Class 33. They've got two different liveries at the moment, both of them the Gauge Master collection I've seen, and they're both at £101.95 with free postage, which I thought was too good an offer to pass up, because I think the RRP on those is about 130 quid. Matty Radnall has just started volunteering at Middleton Railway, then coronavirus happened. I know it's put a lot of plans out of kilter at the moment. It's a shame. Jamie Smith, we will have only 5 channels in North Wales, and one of those is S4C, so you don't get Channel 4 either. Skipsy Trains, if this happened in the 90s, I'd be playing vinyl and CDs interspersed with jingles on my carts and mini discs. And you'd have been a lucky one. I think a lot of people, yes, of course, you wouldn't be able to even listen to music, stream music, if you didn't physically own it, then tough luck. And mail order just really wasn't quite a thing, unless at Britannia Music you might have been able to get stuff through. They would have actually probably survived out through the 90s had this lockdown happened then. They would have been one of the big winners, ironically. And I expect that Blockbuster Video as well would have probably sorted out some kind of posting out system for the VHS videos. which would have enabled them to actually do quite well. So yeah, I'm just glad it isn't the 1990s. Jamie Smith says, what do you mean there's more than 5 channels? Russell Benton, Hornby brought out signals that could be motorised. The 1978 version semaphores using their old point motors never saw any working. I suspect that probably because the point motors shook them apart very, very quickly. 57305 Northern Princess says, Channel 5 launched 30th of March 1997. Gosh, so that's before I even went to university. Skipsy Trains, I remember the countdown that was played on a loop announcing Radio 1 on FM in September 1988. Gosh, is it Radio 1 on FM only from 88? Gosh, that's a lot. I thought that FM would have been more of a sort of late 70s thing, I guess. I can remember Classic FM, and they used to play half an hour of ambient bird song and sort of ambient noise from a forest somewhere as part of their test stream, and then half an hour of weird beeps and like beep beep bird, bird, and all these sort of weird noises. And I can remember listening to that with fascination, and that must have been early 1990s. Don Cragen says, "Gosh, this is like the Four Yorkshiremen sketch. Oh, the old generation, they don't know they're born." Although when I first started using the internet, it was with a 110 baud modem. Good God, you would literally get bored waiting for that to do anything. Andrew Johnson, a Bayer Garrett is actually 2 locomotives, yes, they're sharing a common boiler and permanently coupled together. Let's have a look. Russell Benton, I remember BBC 2 going live for the first time, first channel that was in colour. So that would be what, 1970? Leslie Gilpin, S4C started the night before Channel 4, showed several programmes. Channel 4 said, we're brand new the next night. Will Tucker, your Loco's Grand Tour showed a Bachmann forcep hidden away in one corner. Is it any good, as I'm thinking of buying one? Yes. The Bachmann Class 411 or the forcep is very, very good. I bought mine back when they could be got for a very reasonable £70. Now, if you're wanting to buy one brand new from Bachmann, you're not going to have much change from 400 quid. They have certainly gone up that much. But don't despair, they do turn up second-hand an awful lot for a much more reasonable. I've seen them at about the £130 mark second-hand. So do look out for them. And also don't neglect lower traffic model shops, the ones which don't tend to do a big trade in mail order. Some of them still have stock of the first or second releases, so you can pick them up brand new for under £150. But yes, they certainly are a really good piece of kit. Tim JD Doubters, my family were the last to have a colour TV in our street. Now see, I remember when I was in secondary school, one of my friends, his dad didn't believe in changing their black and white TV because he didn't want to pay for a colour TV licence. So they still had a black and white TV. Ian Ryan says, the reason you can't get a good Alice band now, Jenny, is all the Alice bands have been bought by Premier League players. Well, they're all made of plastic now, so they break. Nick Neumann, I've just finished the Dapol brake van kit. Lots of flash and the pins don't fit their holes, but I still love the Dapol kits. I think one of the problems with the flash and they're not fitting the hole, the kits are getting a bit distorted. They're basically, the moulds are worn out, is one of the problems with those. Oh, dust on the back of my throat. Right, let's have a different camera angle. Let's go to camera 1. Boom, it's working. Tim Davis, who remembers HD DVD? Yes, I do, because we've got a player. We didn't back the dead format. We were gifted it. We were gifted a player, and about 30 HD DVDs. We've since found that you can get what is effectively Blu-ray quality films for peanuts because nobody wants them. So we're the people who've been going around CEXs clearing out their stocks of HD DVDs for literally pennies. So yeah, very much remember that format because we're still using it. Anne Leyland says, I have to say I'm pretty much a newcomer with out of the box stock as I have modelled EM gauge for many years, but I have to say the quality of ready to run is fabulous and detail to go with it. Definitely, yes. Leslie Gilpin, are Dapol still using the Kitmaster moulds? I believe they are. Certainly some of the moulds do date back straight back to the Kitmaster time. I'm thinking of the Lomac. Is it a Lomac or the yeah, I've got one over there somewhere. The Machinery Well Wagon and I know Flat Roll got there in the end. The JCB, which I don't know whether you guys can see it. I've got a JCB just there. And the platform canopy, again, right over in the corner, you see in yellow, 3 of the platform canopies in use over there. They are all old Kitmaster moulds. The Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout. Did anyone see Oscar Paisley's video about the Triang Mark II point circa late 50s? The whole frog and switch rail were made as one piece, so it looked a bit weird when switching tracks. Yeah, the best ones actually were, ironic, the Hornby 00 original 2-rail track were live frog, and they came with insulated fish plates, all sorts of stuff, and the system was just too complex for most people, so they then introduced the simplex system. I do have examples knocking about of both types somewhere, so maybe one day I'll show you different tracks and stuff, but yeah, I do remember stuff like that. Ed Sutherland, HD DVD was a lot cheaper and would have caught on had Sony not massively discounted Blu-ray at a huge loss. I guess they learned from their experiences with Betamax and Minidisc that really you have to do that if you want your format to survive. It's very difficult to drink from that without getting stuff all over you. Richard Swiderski, talking about sound on model railways, I have an EP record of train sounds to use with your layout. I got it in the 60s, made by Triang, still playable. Actually, I do have a recording somewhere that somebody found in a charity shop. It's on a vinyl LP, and it's sounds of steam trains chugging along and stuff. And actually, you could actually use that up here. I forget a record player and an amp and speakers up here. Paul Hinder, I've still got an 8-track and it still works. Yeah, I've got what else have I got? Old technology. I don't have a reel-to-reel player, but I do have the reel-to-reel reels from my time on radio. A ditto for the Sonifex NAB Type AA cartridges for the jingles. I've still got my bed track, which is the instrumental piece of music that you talk over. I've still got that from the mid to late 1990s. What year would it have been? I think probably about 1995 or 1996. I've still got my original bed track. I dare say if I could find a Sonifex cart machine and put it in, it would still work and still play just fine. The track was actually Waterfalls by Atlantic Ocean, if anybody's interested. James Moody says, I went scouring through the local model shop directory and found what might be the last box of Pico Flex Track in the country. Yeah, Pico are hopefully looking to restart production, but at the moment it does mean, I was talking actually on the Hattons fireside chat, neither of us being by a real fireside at all, I hasten to add, done all over video. Really great to do that. A big thank you to Jack Morgan for inviting me on that. But yeah, Pico track in all gauges is getting really tricky to find, which in many ways is a good sign. It shows that people are doing their hobby during lockdown, and it's been a great boon both to hobbyists that this stuff is out there, but also I guess it's been a lifeline to smaller retailers that they've been able to shift some of this stock mail order. Gary Lewis, hope that was a jug of water, not a full bottle of gin or vodka. It's a stein full of summer fruits, cheap cordial with water. Let's have a look. Oh, Jamie Smith. Oh, stop making me feel old. Who is going to ask? What's Blockbusters? It's a video rental store chain. Gosh, I've missed a load of comments here. I'm seeing.
How could someone not know what Blockbuster is? Haven't they seen Captain Marvel?
Apparently not.
She crash lands at the start of the film in a Blockbusters.
I've never seen that. Alan Reynolds, PVA, J-Cloth, Alan says hello. Boom! The man is a legend. PVA and J-Cloth, actually. I never look back after that tip. You know what? That was one of the best tips that anybody has ever given me for building landscape. And I do name check you. Every time I pass that tip on, I say it was given to me by PVA J-Cloth Alan. Leslie Gilpin, I remember classic FM Birdsong too. What about the BBC beeps through the night? Needed to keep the transmitters alive. Yeah, otherwise, if it's the reason why when they broadcast the minute's silence from the cenotaph, they actually broadcast the sound of the cenotaph and people like shuffling and breathing and stuff. It's what they call ambient noise, and it's because otherwise the transmitters switch out. If they don't get a signal, they just cut out. Flymo Chairman 1, Richard Thursday, that'll be a rare one too. I have two 7-inch 33 and 3rd RPM of onboard the flood plate records, quite common back in the day. Let's have a look. JB Smith, TikTok has helped made laugh in these virus times. So much funny stuff on TikTok. Highly recommend it. I'm not keen on TikTok myself. Paul Hinder says, Flymo, was there a 45 with A4 sounds? Well, I expect there probably was, you know. Erom Sele, I remember my Commodore 64 and the plug-in modem. Was that the one where you had to actually take the old-fashioned telephone cradle and put it onto the modem? Vaguely remember them. Manthony 1956, this reminds me of the tapes they used to sell of stockyard sounds for your model railroad. We commented we were glad they never came with smell-o-vision, nothing like odour to go with the sound. Yeah, if you've ever been to a farm or actually a slaughter yard, the smells really, really bad. David Cook, which brand of weathering powders do you all recommend? I recommend the Humbrol ones, actually. I've had great luck with the Humbrol ones, but the Tamiya weathering powders as well do come highly recommended. Somerset Andy, the comic strip. So many talented people in that and they still make you laugh. Definitely, yes. Kev McKay 85. I remember the Amiga, the first computer we had. Yeah, first computer I had was an Amiga 500. Will Tucker, thanks for the tip about the forceps. I've just bought a Clayton 17 and some Roco HO from Arcadia Models before others snap them up. He's got a fair amount of discontinued Roco at very good prices. Yes, definitely. And I do keep meaning to buy some stuff from in mail order. I end up forgetting to do it and then spending all my money elsewhere. But definitely do support local mod shops. And a big up to Tim and everybody at the Arcadia Posse. So I hope you're getting through these tough times. I know that Tim and a lot of other mail order outlets as well. A lot of other model shops are still doing mail order. So do support your local model shop. Sparky 107. Hi Jen, seen you pop in my live stream just as I ended. Yeah, I saw. Oh, Sparky's live. I popped in and it's like ended. Oh no! And a lot of the times I literally turned up like a couple of minutes after you finished, and I was so gutted because it was the first time I'd actually been online when you'd done a live stream. So really sorry about that, but good to see you in. O'Neill, hi to you. Robert Scott, Wiven Model Railway, hi to you. Let's have a look. Shanghai 264359. I remember coming home from school in the mid to late 60s when they were showing short documentaries as experimental colour transmissions, which were excellent, even in black and white. Of course, yes, nobody would have bought a colour TV that long beforehand. Because why would you buy a colour TV when all the programmes were on in black and white? David Scott, the TikTok was a factory in Ustlavera near Swansea. That wasn't the Smith's Instrument Factory, because if it was, that's where my grandfather worked for a good deal, right up until he retired actually. Smith's Instrument, it's where my soldering iron comes from. I'm sure there's TikTok, it must be that. David Scott, please tell me, TikTok, was that the nickname for the Smith's Instruments Factory in Ustlavera? Or actually, was that in Glanreed? Melchester Model Railway, I saw a 4TC on the Kerner website for £200. The next day I went to buy it. It had mysteriously gone up by £68. There can be a lot of flux in prices at the moment, I must admit. 57305 Northern Princess. I have on LP the record of 60,007 Sir Nigel Grossley's 112 mph speed record. I thought it was 126, or was that a previous speed attempt? Flymo Chairman 1, the sound recording that stands out in mine was an 044 out of Callender and in Glenogle, and on an A4 out of Waverley. I'm sure it was Mallet. Hi to you, Colin Miller. Ooh, what's this? The covered monkey comes as all the like the fluid. Soaked up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very hot.
Yes, I just burnt my hand. This is the vegetable pie that the covered monkey created earlier on. Are you coming up with yours in a bit?
Yes.
So, very hot. I'll leave that to cool until the covered monkey comes up, and then she can entertain you for a bit whilst I scoff. FMR Station House, good night to you, and do take care and catch you later. And don't forget as well, you can check out FMR Station House's live stream. I think is it 3 or 3:30, 1500 or 15:30? I think you said. Ben Davis, hi Jennifer. Have Rails of Sheffield sent you one of the first batch Terrier because I have ordered number 9 LBS CX Gypsy Hill Locomotive number 643. No, I haven't received any Terriers, and as a special commission that is nearly sold out on pre-order, I might add. So if you do want one of certainly those first 4 Terriers, do get your order in quick, because according to Oliver Davies at Rails of Sheffield, he says that they are selling really well. So it's order it or miss out and be disappointed. So there's no real need for them to send me an item for review. They're the items that sell themselves. I did do a full comparison and review of those actually when I was at Alexandra Palace last year with a pre-production model. I've shared that back out again just to remind people about that, and even the pre-production model was something special. But it is one that I do want to buy. So what I've been told by Rails of Sheffield, the deal is thus: they were expected in today into Dapol. They'll go through some initial quality control and then posted out from Dapol to Rails. They're expecting to get them and start turning them round. The people who've pre-ordered them from towards the end of this week, Oliver said. So it all depends on what's all that?
I'm accessing the emails so that we can bring up some videos.
Ah, yes, of course. And now also we're coming to that stage in the night where we're going to be bringing up some of your model railway videos. And again, if you want to submit some of these for next week's Jenny Monday Club, don't forget that you can post a URL link to the video. Send that to Zoe at zoerobinson.com. And that's Zoe spelled the European way with just Z-O-E. And post a link and to the video, and you could be featured on next week's Jenny Monday Club. That is a good pie. Lots of healthy veg.
Literally nothing in there that can hurt you except for the butter,
the butter
and the cream.
The Growler Blackwood Engage layout. High Flymo channel. The amazing thing about the point worked flawlessly and could be electrified by adding a motor to the base of the point. Check it out on Oscar's reviews. The old Trying and old Hornby. Yeah, I must actually dig out some of my old Hornby 00 stuff. Tim JD Dowd. The one LP I had was a recording of City of Truro going over the Crumlin Viaduct. Wow. Skipsy Trains. Can I have a P, please, Bob? Would that be a P class? Oh, sorry, Blockbuster. Ah, yes. Yeah, I do remember Blockbuster with Bob Holderness. Gas street sidings, hi to you. I'll be trying J-cloth and PVA for sure. It is definitely a great tip, and I'm so glad we put onto that because, in all honesty, it's a great way of saving money because PVA, you can get that bulk PVA from somewhere like Hobbycraft, 10 litres for it. I think it's about £5-6 quid, really quite cheap. Again, for the J-cloth, just the cheap ones, you don't need expensive J-cloth, and it's such a great idea. It takes a lot longer to dry than plaster bandage, but you always have a plentiful supply, and it's actually quite therapeutic to do, and it doesn't set too quickly. One of the problems I have found with plaster bandage is when you're trying to manipulate it, sometimes the plastic can set quicker than you'd want. You know, you want it to manipulate some of the rock faces and stuff. So actually the J-cloth method is really good for that. Now, Cupboard Monkey, do say something to people so I can...
Something to people?
You need to talk to them so that I can stuff my face.
Oh, okay. Well, we haven't got a huge amount going on, have we? It's one of those things with lockdown. Not a huge amount is actually happening. So, we've got a video from Tim Pullen, I believe, so I'm trying to find that now.
Flymo Chairman 1, I've been working on trestles for baseboards today and yesterday, trying to source materials for 2 rising grades. Now, I can recommend the Woodland Scenics risers. They're like there's like a weird zigzag polystyrene thing, so they've got a lot of flexibility, really easy to use. So with those, I would recommend check out online. You can get them through various online retailers. I know that I got mine when I built Weir Yard from Hattons, but I believe they may have sold out now. But Rails of Sheffield, Kernow Model Centre, in fact, even give Tim a tinkle at Arcadia Trains in Shore. Tell him I sent you. There's plenty of places you can get them from, and they are so easy to use. Once you've used the Woodland Scenics risers, they're... Oh, my word. It's not come up on my my thing yet.
Look at the bottom.
Big thank you to Kelly Ashford, who's given us £2 on Super Chat and says, mind if I put my oar in? Absolutely. You go right ahead, and thank you very much for that very, very generous donation there. £2 on the Super Chat. Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wardle Road asks, never been East Lancs, is it good? And yeah, Didcot is great. This is many times in my late grandfather, Mr. Wardle. East Lancs Railway is very good, actually. I've done a few videos there. I got access all area tours, and it's certainly something. Get in with Les, because I think his brother-in-law volunteers at the East Lancs, so can organise tours and stuff. So that's one good route in. But certainly, yeah, the East Lancs Railway is a good line.
So while you eat, would you like to see this video?
I was going to say, yeah, definitely.
We've got Shanghai 264359, construction of the station and trestle footbridge. We're going to go over live to that now, as long as it actually comes up. Here we go. So, is it... I think it's loading. Is it? It's not even playing. Why?
I think it is playing.
It wasn't. It was just sat there making me look like a daft git.
So how's that different from normal?
I knew you were going to say that. Wooden strips for platform screw. I wondered what that was because it looked a bit darker than we've seen it before. So it's got these wooden strips. I suppose that does lift it up quite a way. That's a good way of doing it. You don't do that, do you? You put no, you do that. You put,
I use balsa wood.
Yeah.
It's a very good way of building platforms. And yeah, certainly the ballasting, that looks great. It's really brought it to life.
It has. It really has. Now, the track he was using there, it looked like it had come with ballast already down under it.
No, it's on like a foam underlay, I think.
Foam right. That explains a lot. I've seen a few
really
people
well,
mention foam underlay.
And this is, we saw this last week, the Gauge Master controller that's been disguised as a pump house. I thought that was great.
It's a brilliant idea. And it's so effective as well. I mean, you used to hide switches and all sorts in buildings, didn't you? But that's going one way even further. I'm really liking the look of some of these. Those old-fashioned posters at the back. It's
That
a
really
great
is-
way of doing
yeah.
it. It just adds a bit of life. It's something that I noticed with Les's vaccine that it's just done for you. Part of it is just having those old posters gives it a sense of time.
I like the trestle made out of is that balsa wood. That is really good. And actually, some of these trestles, you see it more on US outline layouts, but certainly that is really, really nice.
Yeah, the American ones do go in for their trestle bridges. Well, they're effective, aren't they? That's a very nice model. What is that? So it's gone now.
It's like I
That
like the graffiti.
yes, again, that's another thing with the like I was saying with the posters. Adding graffiti just adds a little bit of extra character. This
Yeah,
is a
the smoke
really
reflectors
impressive
underneath.
model. I like those rock faces. They're really good.
Big hello, Belmont Junction.
Oh yeah,
And Trains in the Garage, hi to you.
all of
And
those.
Huntseath Model Railway, great to have you
Oh,
aboard as well.
Jen, look at those cracks.
That is, I love that effect. You do it so well.
It's the extra details. That is exactly what we're talking
just
about.
for Jenny.
It's so good. It looks brilliant.
I am getting to really like the look of the American outline stuff.
It has a bit of character to it.
Those double stack containers always look a little bit top heavy, but I don't have the loading gauge to be able to get double deck stuff through. But certainly, I could be very tempted by American outline locos and
No
stuff.
doubt at some point you'll make an American outline diorama. That was really good. Thank you
So,
very much,
big
Shanghai
thank you for that.
264359.
Brilliant.
So let's jump back to the main screen. Are we
this
getting
where-
this background? Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Oh, Kelly Ashford, that is incredibly generous of you. You pledged another £2. So do you prefer steamies or diesels? Gosh, that is a difficult question. I think that I like both. As to a preference of one versus the other, I have to say that's a really difficult call. I think diesels might just edge it for me. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I really do like the steam outline stuff. But thank you very much. That is incredibly generous of you, pledging £2 twice there, so £4. But yeah, my favourite locomotive is a steam locomotive. But I think in general, there's a part of me that does tend to lean towards the diesels.
You go both ways.
So let's have a look through some more of the comments. Somerset Andy says you can't beat a Class 56 with the sound. Again, that's another one on my hit list. Class 56. I've just, as I said before, I've just purchased a Class 33, Helgen 33. Really looking forward to that coming. It's actually from the Gauge Master collection, but I bought it through Rails because they had it at a really good price. It was better even than Gauge Master had it from their site, even though it's a Gauge Master commission. So looking forward to that, but I'm really kind of looking out for a Class 56 in what I call small logo tops blue.
Do we have time for another video?
Yes, we do actually, yeah. Mark Wilson says, dirty blue diesels, please. Yeah, I know what you mean. The weathered, faded BR blue, such as the Class 8 that's been trundling around, is really, really an interesting livery. But we're going to have another one of your videos, guys. So we're just going
This
over...
one is Brayworth Park 00 Model Railway. It's a night running session. You know I like my lamps.
You do, actually, yeah.
It gives it a lot of atmosphere, so let's have a look. Oh, yes, immediately. The lights in that loco, it just...
Yeah.
It makes it alive. It makes it
all
come
of the
alive.
coaches are lit up. That actually works really, really well.
Yeah, and the lights there, they're all making it look atmospheric. You can see ideas of the town behind.
Yeah, and it's very, very. I like the way that the spotlight's underneath the canopy. Very
Yeah.
prototypical, and it does work really well. I don't know why that keeps popping up. It must be getting some vibration back through the thing. Very sensitive to it. But that's a really nice station, actually.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? The buildings behind the wall,
Yeah.
it gives it an atmosphere. It makes it feel really real. Lights
Yeah.
inside the buildings as well. No one home, of course, it's night.
That is really nice, and it just goes to show that with clever thought towards you know, putting lights into buildings, into trains, everything like that, you can really bring a layout to life working it in the dark. It's not something that I've particularly done up here. I do have lights in some buildings, but not all. Is it a route that I would go down? I don't think so, but certainly that looks amazing. And it can be quite difficult to get a night layout to look right. And certainly getting it to look right on camera is even harder. So kudos to you, sir. That is really well done. Yes, Braeworth Park OO Model Railway says, oh, that's mine. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for submitting the link.
I love it. It's
It's really
done.
nice, actually. The lights work so well.
Yeah.
Braeworth Park OO Model Railway says, I changed the name of my channel from Reggie Boy to Braeworth.
Was Reggie Boy not an acceptable name for a train?
I don't know, people sometimes change stuff.
Oh, that's good. The way that the atmosphere and the shadows are coming across the bus station.
Look at the reflection of the light on the rail surface.
Yeah.
It's just like
It looks
the real
real.
railway.
It
Yeah.
really does look real.
That works so well. I'm loving this. The look of this with the platform lamps and everything.
Yeah.
It really does look right.
To be honest with you, if someone had shown me a photograph of that and told me it was a real place, I probably wouldn't have said it wasn't.
It does really look realistic. So I'm very impressed with this. Really impressed.
Yeah.
Somerset Andy says, I will say goodnight to you all. Thanks for a great stream again, Jenny and Zoe. You all keep safe.
You're welcome.
And you too. Again, Somerset Andy, good supporter of the channel, and a big thanks again. Sent me the Class 47 that we have here. We ran it a couple of weeks ago, so again, big thanks for that. Shanghai 264359 says, thanks for showing my latest video. Glad you enjoyed it. The American diesel loco is in the Thurn Genesis Burlington Northern Santa Fe, I think BNSF is.
That's it. That's the one I was wondering about.
ES44DC. Thank you very much.
I like the livery on that one. It had an interesting texture and colour to it.
Gary Lewis says, our local B&Q store is open but not operating wood cutting services, so assume applies to all stores. Possibly, yeah, because basically you have a member of staff on the woodcutter. It is a shame, and it does make it very awkward unless you've got a van and the means to cut the stuff yourself. Bolton Model Railway Society asks, hi Jenny, what is the software you are using on the computer? It's OBS, spelled OBS.
Open Broadcast Software, or Open Broadcast System.
Yeah,
it's free to use, but you do get what you pay for to a certain extent.
It can be glitchy.
It's a bit off-putting at first. Get used to it, give it a few practice runs, and you'll get the hang of it. Well worth getting the hang of it, because it does work very nicely.
Kelly Ashford just donated another £2.
Oh my goodness, you don't have to.
I like you very much. Thank you very much, but I know just that you don't have to donate every time you type a message in, but it is very generous of you. Thank you ever so much for that. But your comment's very kind, and it's great to have you in the stream.
And thank you also to Braeworth Park for his very good video there. So let's bring
excellent. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you don't have to keep donating. You really don't.
Andy 1962 says, remember to support Jenny and Zoe by smashing that like button. Very much. Don't forget, tickle the like button. And also you can support us over on Patreon, and it does help an awful lot to allow us to do a lot of the things that we do. And certainly once lockdown ends, I want to get back to going out and about, going on the road. It's something that Wardle Road, Ollie at Wardle Road does a lot, and it's very much inspiring. I hope he won't think I'm stealing his thunder, but certainly going out and visiting people. New Junction does it a lot as well, and Dave at Cottesmore. And I think it's a great way of adding video content that people find really interesting, to go and view other people's layouts.
Yeah, we tried to do that, what was it, 2 years ago now, with Through the Train Room Door?
We did, but we got overtaken by doing all the TV.
Well, you went off to TV land, that's why.
I did, actually, yeah.
You abandoned me for television.
Leslie Gilpin says, some manufacturers do put lights in, but you pay for the benefit. Yeah, there's the Hornby Scaledale lighting system. I believe Bachmann do their own version as well. It seems to have fallen by the wayside, but they had a whole system that just plugged into the buildings. I think the big problem with some of the Scenecraft and the Scaledale buildings is the light actually bleeds through the brickwork, and you have to paint the insides, which can be a bit of a faff. Bolton Model Railway Society says thank you. You're absolutely welcome. Excuse me, Brayworth Park OO Model Railway says thanks for showing. Again, absolutely welcome. Thank you for letting us show off that amazing layout. Gas Street Sidings, thank you guys. I'll be back to view next week. Take care, great stream. Thank you very much. And hope to see you again next week. Don't forget, tell everybody you know, share the stream, and let's build the community. Manthony 1956, have you ever used black light paper and paint? We would use the paper in windows and paint on rolling stock. Install room and black lights. As you dim the room lights, the black light surfaces glow. Gosh, they'd be like those stars you used to get. You used to be able to blue tack them to the ceiling of your bedroom when I was a kid. And when you turned your bedroom light off, you could have all these star constellations on the ceiling. Never actually tried that. Kelly Ashford, welcome on board. Toot toot, very much so. Let's have a look. David Scott, Jenny Smith's Industries was the Anglo-Swiss watch company. You had the location correct. Good night, both, and thanks. Yeah, my grandfather, he's still about, he's about 95, 96 now, so he's getting on a bit.
He's still young. What are you on about?
He worked at Smith's Instruments. He was the site electrician up until he retired in, I think, the late 1980s. Ronald Moritz says, another brilliant show, ladies. Thank you very much. Kelly Ashford says, very much, lockdown is slowly lifting its doors upwards. Very much. Hopefully things will all get under control. And
I really do hope so, because it's... I know why it's been necessary, but it's starting to take a toll on people, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's mental health as much as anything
Absolutely.
else.
Mental health is really important.
And it's one of the reasons that we kind of threw ourselves into the live streaming with gusto. In fact, it was very important to do the community live stream guide, which you can find on my website. And it's a way of keeping up that human contact via video, effectively. And I just felt from the moment that lockdown was announced that it was so important. So hopefully you guys agree with us, and you know, we try and support all the other people as well doing regular live streams. But you know, it certainly helped a lot of people through, and it's great for stop it. I'm doing serious. This is like the serious stuff. Stop
okay,
it.
everyone, look, to pay attention to this one here.
Look,
very serious, very serious.
I'm a serious
She's
Shakespearean
she's got a cat
actress,
ears and a giant cup, so she's very serious.
Yes. I'm afraid, unfortunately, it came out of the 3D print at the wrong scale.
No, you did.
Yeah,
That's the right scale.
You did. You did. It's your fault.
I did not come out of a 3D printer. My parents collected the tokens off the back of cereal packets and I arrived through the post.
Bolton Model Railway Society, hopefully see you down at the new club room very soon. We have so much planned. As soon as we can, it will be full steam ahead. Very much so, because yeah, you guys are giving a home to the War of the Worlds layout once we sorted out all the exhibitions and that. And looking forward to that, mostly because I want my conservatory back.
So do I. It's been really hot, and I've had to sit on the floor in a foot of cleared space.
Very little space in our conservatory. You don't realise how big those layouts are until you put them in an ordinary sized room. Nick Neumann says, how do you get the wasp stripes on your shunters, paint or transferred? Well, actually, all of mine come ready to run like that. That's how they come from the manufacturer. But if you want to paint wasp stripes, basically what you have to do is spray the entire ends. I think usually people go with yellow. Spray it up. When that is completely set, very carefully mask out where you want the yellow to remain, and then overspray with the black. And then when that dries and you peel off the masking, then you get your wasp stripes. But it's actually very, very difficult to do yourself in model form, but it can be done. Ben Tullett says, I want a holiday as I've been working for 7 weeks. You and me both. Normally 4 days a week. I'm also a key worker helping to feed the nation. And yeah, so it's been business as usual for me. So all this furloughing thing that's kept a lot of people at home and actually been really great as a lifeline to a lot of people. I've not seen any of that. Let's have a look. Do we have any other of people's...
We don't, Spape, and it's 5 to 9. Shall we wrap up?
So we're starting to wrap up, actually. I'm just a few quick comments before we start to wrap up. Mark Holt, I'm sure it may have been mentioned before. I got home from work, but has anyone else ordered a Captain Tom from Hornby? I haven't, because it's not my era, but certainly I've been led to believe they may have actually sold out pre-order.
Wow.
So that they have gone very, very well. And that may actually mean that it has become the most successful selling item of all time.
That's
Kelly
really cool.
Ashford says, stop arguing, you two. Is that us two?
We can't stop arguing, we're married.
Belmont Junction, is that water, Jenny? It is actually, with a bit of cordial. Good night to Rachel, you stay safe. Andy 1962 has definitely ordered the Captain Tom Loco. Support the NHS. Manthony 1956 says, no stalk for Jenny and Zoe, or was one found under a cabbage?
Well, Jen may have been, but I'm always told she's not so green as she's cabbage looking, so out of the two of us, yes.
Let's have a look. Warwick Road, Andy, Jenny, any plans for your Trafford Park layout to go to any more shows? It's not booked in at the moment to any, but of course everything's up in the air at the moment. It was due to go to a show, I can't remember when it was, but certainly if invites for some of the big shows do come in, I'd love to go and I'd love to do Wally actually with a layout like that. It's available. Model Rail Scotland, you can always book that. War of the Worlds layout is available to book as well. Ron Stanbridge says, yep, Jenny, my layout from GMRC is in my conservatory, only been out one time and it's in the way. I know ours does have a home to go to, but at the moment it's basically been marooned because of lockdown.
And also, if you went to any shows, would you take along that little winter diorama just as a side piece?
I don't know, maybe if there was the space available. Kelly Ashford says, stop arguing or I'll set Thomas the Tank Engine on you. Well, Thomas the Tank Engine's a very naughty tank engine, so...
He wouldn't be able to get in the attic anyway, it'd be alright.
As a lot of people managed to pre-order the Captain Tom. So it just really remains in the last few minutes to say thank you all for... thank you all for dropping in. It's been great to have you
It really
on.
has.
So big thank you to you guys. Do stay safe and remember, tickle that like button. Share the stream too, share the channel, go and have a look through some of our other videos. Coming up this week, we have on Wednesday a review of different cameras that you can use to actually get a driver's eye view, guard's eye view, and even in the case of one of them, we're able to get a passenger looking out through the coach window style view. And they're not too expensive either, actually. Some of the new cameras coming through are pretty reasonably priced. And then on Friday, yes, it's that back scene. We are doing the full guide of how I put together the back scene. Well, let's put it together. I fitted it in. It was quite difficult to fit in, but got there in the end. So that's the progress on the loft layout. Big video with that. Next week we've got coming on the Wednesday will hopefully be the Dapol water tower review. So stay tuned for that, although that will probably be shared by Rails before then, because that is the people we're actually doing the video for. So hopefully that's going to come tomorrow. We're going to get that filmed. We've also got some more box opening and reviews. The Hornby Class 01, the Thompson 01, that's one of our box opening and reviews to come. There will be that Helgen Class 33, Eastleigh, I think it's 33008. And it's in a really interesting livery. It's lightly weathered, but it's BR green, but with the tops number. So really quite interesting, and a bit like the Class 27 that I got from Helgen. What else is going on? Don't forget as well, if you haven't already pre-ordered your Dapol / Rails Terrier, do get on over to Rails and pre-order those. They should start sending out the first 4 liveries, which is BR Early Black, BR Late Black, the Kent and East Sussex Railway Blue. I think it's Rolvenden, could be wrong, could be Bodiam, but I think it's Rolvenden. And also the Gypsy Hill in the London Brighton South Coast Railway brown livery. So if you haven't already ordered, Oliver at Rails tells me that they are very heavily subscribed. There are still models left, but they will go quickly. So do stay tuned for those. Also, what else is going on? Can't think of anything. Oh yes, and also I'll be doing a review hopefully in the next couple of weeks for Happens with a super duper bargain bundle. Also got WWC Nicks. I've got a review video of their products. Hopefully that'll be next week's Friday video.
You can see what's happening here, can't you? She's telling you, but she's also telling me that I've got loads of work to film.
Definitely. Kelly Ashford says, you're invited to my channel. Kelly Ashford Trains. Jenny, thank you very much. Not Lobia Model World.
Hey Les.
Hi to you, Les, as well. Good night, everybody. Good night, Jamie Smith. Good night, Melchester Model Railway. Zach Farnworth, still in the stream. Great to see you. Zach Farnworth, you stay safe now as well. And listen to your mum.
Get to bed, it's 9 o'clock.
No, I would say it's a school night, but it's not.
It is a school night,
well,
it's just not at school.
Yeah. But say hi to your mum for me. Zach's mum being my little sister.
She hates being called your little
that'll
sister.
make Zach giggle, hearing his mum called my little sister. I'll get in trouble for that, you know.
Yeah, but she can't come and slap you, so it's alright.
Yeah, but she will. She'll remember. So good night to everybody, and it just remains for me to say you take really great care of yourselves. It's been an honour to have you on the stream. Really great to have you aboard. And you take really good care of yourself. Don't forget to support all of those retailers that are selling online mail order. And I'm sure they'll all appreciate your custom in these difficult times. And keep on building your models and submitting videos of your model railways as well. We really want to see those, and hopefully you'll let us share them on the stream next Monday. But until then, you take really great care of yourself. It's me, Jenny Kirk, in the company of the Cupboard Monkey, with my amusing comedy ears and comedy oversized, I would say pint of juice, but I think it's probably about 4 pints in there.
I believe it is a 4-pinter, and that's what a proper stein is.
Well, 4 pints, that's half, is that? Yeah, that's half a gallon.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you all take really great care of yourself. This is me, Jenny Kirk, saying take care. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
The awkward bit now where you try and find the button.